ringer.
Do you need a hug?
Jeffy doesn't know what's happening to his body.
Okay.
Hey, you, come here. You want to see a movie review? What's going on, everyone? My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I don't know how to say this. Today, we're going to review The Ringer, starring Johnny Knoxville. Okay, before we even do the intro and the title card, all that, let me get a few things off my chest. I, Henry, was a fan of this movie a long time ago. I did not recently buy this DVD. I've personally had this copy well over 15 years. This is one of those movies that even reviewing or praising it in any way could potentially get me canceled. Which reminds me, this year for Pride Month, which is June in the USA, we are going to review the unrated version of Boat Trip. Another film that could get me canceled. I know what you're thinking. Henry, what's so cancel-worthy about two films? Okay, well, I'm glad you asked. Stranger Number 2. Both of those films star a character that completely pretends to be something that they are not. You know, at the end of the day, they just get to walk away with a lesson learned, and they get the girl in the end, okay? Spoiler alert, yes. Now, with that being said, let's go.
Welcome to the TSh.
I just want to say thank you all for showing up to my possibly last video ever. The Ringer, 2005. The plot centers around a young man, Knoxville, who, as part of a scheme to pay off his debts, poses as a developmentally disabled to compete in the Special Olympics. So yeah, let's be real. This is not something that would get made today. Obviously, okay? We have advanced far too much to think shit like this is funny. However, there's some funny parts here and there. Wait, before you turn the video, too late. Allow me to share what I believe the premise is. A white man needs a promotion. He must fire a brown person to get it. Instead of firing this person, he ends up personally hiring him. I guess he has money like that. Okay. In the Wikipedia plot synopsis, it makes it seem like he was in deep with a loan shark, which, in fact, he is not. His uncle is, which we'll get into. But also, the main thing behind this is that Steve wants to help this person who loses his fingers. Matter of fact, all three of these to be exact. Imagine having to walk around like this all the time. Yeah, it'd be fucked up. You know, poor guy. Steve decides, no, I'm not gonna allow that. You know what? I am gonna raise the money to get the surgery. How can I do this though? I don't really have a significant talent, or I don't have this scheme ready to go. What can I do? Aha! I'm better than them. Alright, forgive me people, that is not how it goes down. Let's really dive into this shit, okay? Let's get started. So yeah, we've established that this will not get made today, sure. Also, by the end of this movie, this character doesn't get to walk away and get the girl. Oh, no. In reality, this motherfucker goes to jail. Hard time, too. But if you find yourself questioning your morals while watching this movie or this video, just remember one thing. This is a comedy. Long story short, Stavi, get used to that, he loses these fingers because he's a goddamn moron. Sure, he's a sweetheart as well, but this motherfucker reached into a lawnmower. I'm not kidding, people. Next thing you know, after that incident, which was completely avoidable, instead of being pissed off, I LOL'd at the next bit of dialogue. It just cuts away to those two rushing into an ER. Johnny Knoxville's holding Stavi up. He's like, I got a bag of fingers. All right, you know what? I can work with this. I can work with that. But then the rest of the movie happens. When you run out of options for money, kids, remember this, by the way, write this down. When you run out of options for money, move on to faking a handicap and just win the goddamn Olympics. It's that easy. Typical everyday shit, this is nothing. You might ask yourself, where did Steve get this horrible idea? Well, I might have told you earlier, but this all comes from Brian Cox's character, Uncle Gary, which is the biggest piece of shit in the entire film. Honestly, he might be the antagonist as far as I'm concerned. He's also sometimes hilarious. And I say that with bated breath. Also, if your morality's digging at you a little bit, just remember another thing. Steve doesn't want to do this. Oh, right. Doesn't that help a little bit? No? Come on, people. Even Stavi, the moron himself who kind of started this whole chain of events, even he's like, no, don't do it, Mr. Steve. Don't do that. This is wrong. This is right around the time Uncle Gary approaches his local loan shark who he owes a shitload of money to, by the way. This is where he reveals his big plan to have his nephew rig the Olympics, to which even the loan shark mafioso guys like, fuck no, man. What the fuck are you talking about? This is ridiculous. But he's a fan of Jimmy. I sure hope I can get clips for this shit because this is gonna be really awkward if not. I believe the quote was,
That guy's the Deion Sanders of retards.
holy shit. Shout out to my boy Billy though. I gotta be real. At one point he's eating his lunch. The hot old lunch lady that he's super into approaches him. Let's just say that homie Billy, he presents a couple, options for this nice lady. And to be real, she thinking about it. Oh yeah. Steve almost gets caught. He sort of loses his Jeffy accent, demeanor, and sort of starts to come out a little bit. This was so cringeworthy. I'm not kidding, people. I've seen some shit for this series in particular, okay? This one, every time I wrote a note, I just wanted to rip the paper, okay? I just. Oh my goodness. Most of the time it's because of the portrayals of the mentally handicapped. I mean, sometimes they have these people looking like they should be in padded rooms, man. It's, goddamn straight jacket. And we're only a third of the way. A big pro is that they hired a bunch of people who are handicapped in that way. Whatever the illness is, I'm sure they cover most of the representation here. It's a goddamn shame that we have, quote unquote normal people pretending to do this shit, man. This makes my skin crawl. Whew, you know what, people? We need a break. Let's check in on Lynn and see what's going on with her. As I mentioned earlier, she's kind of acting weird around Jeffy, just giving him more attention than the others, essentially, right? It's weird. She invites him to hang out and have lunch, except it turns out this is a fucking blind date slash double date with her boyfriend also there. Like, don't do this to people. I hate this shit. There were so many times, like when I was a young man, that friends would try to hook me up with someone that was there. It's like, no, man, god damn. I hate when people do that shit. So that frustrated me. But also, like, these are people, right? You don't just decide to pair them with another handicapped person because you think that's right. Like, oh, they're handicapped. They'll love this other handicapped person. Like, I once had a friend who I will not name, but he was talking to this gay man, a gay friend of his, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta bring you around my other gay friends." It's like, don't think of it like that. That shit really bothers me. My whole thing is just we're all people, okay? We either hit it off or we don't. We don't necessarily have to come from the same place to get to know each other. That's just needless to say, the double date idea does not go well with either couple, honestly. And then it's revealed that David, Lynn's boyfriend, who's also Holy shit, this dude's also in Boat Trip. Oh my god. It's official, people. Look forward to this review in just a few short months. David is a cheating piece of shit, so fuck this guy already. He's literally hitting on the waitress, gets her number with Jeffy right here, and then he uses him to lie and boost himself up. Oh man, god damn it. I feel like every review I do, I just want to punch someone in the goddamn gut. I'm not a violent I'm not a violent man, people, I promise you. Unfortunately, David will come back, so stay tuned. Once Steve goes back to his room at the facility, I gotta word that a little better. Once he returns, the gang catches him straight up in a lie, and this is where he reveals the truth. Once again, they're gonna beat you on the head with the fact that these are handicapped people. They don't follow any of the story, and he literally has to draw a fucking picture. Okay, alright, saying it out loud is making me laugh, but during the rewatch, I was like, really?
We want you to stay.
Yeah. Yo, we're sick of Jimmy winning all the time. Jimmy that prick.
The gang decides, let's train this motherfucker. This is the only way we're gonna beat Jimmy, because apparently none of them think they're worthy, especially Glenn. It turns out later on, Glenn is actually a really gifted athlete, but you know, whatever. We'll talk about that later. The gang decides, hey, let's train this motherfucker. So they quickly find out that he cannot jump hurdles. How the fuck did we get this far into the Olympics? And also, what the fuck is up with the score for some of the scenes here? Why do we have this whimsical yet triumphant ass score? This does not fit this shit at all. Remember what the fuck he's doing here? Do you? I'm getting upset. Whew. God damn, I had to step off for a second, people. One thing in the film, like I said earlier, they did hire, handicapped people to play these roles, or at least most of them. One thing they do properly acknowledge is how a lot of these people wouldn't be the star of your average Hollywood film. They mention how it's all about looks and, they're really hard on themselves. And I hate that they're right about that because, generally speaking, at least people that look specifically like Billy, for example, who has Down syndrome, I gotta say, at least they kind of shed a light on that aspect. They're literally talking about Hollywood in a Hollywood film, so props where it's due. Another pro, Jeffy, decides, I'm tired of being a parasite, a leech, just stealing and just taking from other people. He decides, let's help Thomas get the girl of his dreams. That shouldn't be too hard, right? Thomas is a good guy. He deserves a good woman. I get it. Unfortunately, the girl of his dreams is also with Jimmy, the biggest fucking asshole, and, the competition himself. Now, this came out in 2005, so this is 3 years before Tropic Thunder released, which, as you may or may not know, introduced the golden rule in cinema.
My name's Jeffy.
Insert Jeffy. After so many failed personas, we finally come up with Jeffy. Just Jeffy, by the way, as of right now. The uncle's gonna come up with the last name later. You know what? Let's just say it right now in case I fucking forget. The uncle decides Dahmer needs to be Jeffy's last name. Come on, are you kidding me, dude? Let me tell you, people, they waste no time getting more and more ridiculous. Day 1 at training camp, Steve, he's ready to bail out. He's deuces, I can't do this shit. I have a conscience, Uncle Gary. But then he slips and falls and he looks up. There's fucking Katherine Heigl right there. She's like prime Katherine Heigl. If that was me, I might stick around just to, fill this out a little bit, I think it's high time we meet some more cast members, okay? Steve ends up making this, small group of friends, and he has this really tight circle by the end of the film. Spoiler alert, I know you're upset right now. Yeah, let's see. We meet Thomas, who's a sweetheart. Billy, who's very fucking quotable. We also have Mark. Let me pull this brother aside real quick. Hey, come on, brother. Let me tell you something, man. You're coming on a little too strong right now. I'm convinced that Steve isn't the only one faking. I've seen this actor in other things. He, to my knowledge, does not have any of those. So, like, it's bad, people. There's so many horrible impersonations in this film, and Mark is not doing us any favors.
Do it again, and you'll be admiring my butt from the pavement with the straw.
What?
Like I said, people, at least Billy is quotable. By the end of the first day, people, Steve is really, I mean, he's just out of it. He's down and out, and he just wants to fucking leave. Outside of Lynn, of course, you know, which sure helped a lot. Honestly, it's kind of interesting because she, in a way, takes a liking to him as well. I mean, we see her walking him to his, you know, relay races and, you know, the qualifying stuff. Okay, well, you're a little close to just him specifically, the handsome lead actor. Okay. At least there's a few chuckles to be had coming up. Yeah, Steve is in no shape for this shit at all. Most of the time, things just go south in a big fucking way. Which reminds me, Johnny Knoxville was taking those falls, at least it looked like to me. So for that, I decided to bring out Stuntman Ignition, you know, because to be honest with you, Johnny Knoxville and the Jackass crew, which for those listening, I have 3 Jackass movies on set today. Those guys were and are some of the best stunt people I've ever seen in my life. So, you know what? I gotta give props to where it's due, and homie was taking some hits. Even though Steve is not a great athlete right now, he literally just kind of breezes by because during one of the more important qualifying races, a bunch of people trip and he just easily capitalizes. So that kind of just puts him to the forefront, and dude's not really putting in all his effort here, at least not yet. The next day, her and Steve go out to Costco. On the way, they're bonding over some smooth tunes and shit. We find out in this scene why Lynn is so motivated to help people like Jeffy. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Okay, we understand why she has this job in particular. It turns out she had a brother too, and he passed away due to his, you know, complications with his illnesses. It's a tragic story, you know, and I can appreciate people like this who go through pain and use that for good. I want to give a pro for this, honestly, because, you know, not a lot of us use our pain for good. You know, she literally is trying her best here. So, bravo to the character. Of course, Steve feels bad, people. He's doing some horrible things right now. He ends up going to a confessional and he just lays it all out.
My son, there is no sin unforgivable to those that seek redemption.
I've been pretending to be mentally challenged so I can fix the Special Olympics. To make money off of it. Father?
This motherfucking priest is whooping the dog shit out of Steve. Oh my God. He gave him a goddamn holy beatdown, people. He said, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Like, just fucking hammer fist, man. Beat the shit out of him. Which, that's what we all wanted to do anyway. So,
Jesus, Father!
whoa! Whew. This is some Family Guy shit, though. That is the most Family Guy cutaway clip I've ever seen, okay? But it worked for me, so I'm not gonna con it too much. This is where we get Steve approaching Uncle Gary. He's ready to completely back out. Uncle Gary says some derogatory shit about Steve's newfound friends. Steve doesn't like it, but he doesn't back out of the race after all. He still stays. Before we can get into the third act of the movie, the gang decide, let's have a little bit of a debauchery moment, you know, a real team bonding thing, something that we're not supposed to do. They wait until, everyone's asleep. They go out late night, go see Dirty Dancing at the movies. Classic. Unfortunately, David is also there with the waitress. Man, this motherfucker. Why are y'all there, man? Shit. Just get a room already. So now, people, we have two groups that are not supposed to be there. Both are caught in a lie. What do? They tell Lynn. So her and David, naturally, they break up. I mean, of course, dude's a piece of shit, so get him the fuck out of there. Honestly, people, if there's one clip I could refer to with this film, it's usually the ice cream one. Okay, you might have seen it on the internet. I've seen it memed a million times specifically. But yeah, I'd be remiss if I left this out of the review. It's something about that guy's delivery. It is phenomenal.
You guys, David, what the hell? I have been worried sick.
Relax, honey. I just took him to the mall to hang out.
The mall closes at 9. It's 12 o'clock.
You stopped off for ice cream.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
And now, people, we're here. Okay, it is time to do the Olympics. Is that what people say? I don't know. I don't watch it. Hey, remember that priest from just a few moments ago? This guy shows up to the loan shark that Uncle Gary owes money to. Get this, people. With his newfound knowledge, he bets money on Jeffy to win it all. God damn it, man. I was giving this dude props not 5 minutes ago. This is character assassination. That priest wouldn't do that. The games kick off, and honestly, people, this is some real competitive shit, okay? Honestly, after day one, things don't go as smooth for Jimmy or Jeffy. We also have Glenn, who's, third place, but he's right there. Before day two comes, the previous night, there's a big party with everyone invited. They play September by Earth, Wind, Fire. I was a huge fan of this song up until about, 4 or 5 months ago, okay? I am in charge of playing music when I'm at work, generally speaking. This song comes up on so many different playlists. I've tried to remove it from my own personal playlist because I am sick of this goddamn song. It was an absolute banger for years, decades. If I could just take a break, maybe I can appreciate it again. But yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. Guess who is also here? Lynn! Yeah, next thing you know, the day after, she's slow dancing with Jeffy and everything's all romantic and slow and happy. One thing leads to another. Jeffy, aka Steve, leans in for a kiss, and of course Lynn backs out. What the fuck are you doing, dude? My big issue with this is Steve, Jeffy, whatever the fuck you want to be called. Why would you try to plant one on her in front of everyone? Dude, this is her fucking job. Why would you risk that? I mean, you trying to get some ass, I get it. Go out to the back rooms or something. Don't try to fucking embarrass her in front of everybody. No, that's big pressure that no one needs to deal with right there. If there's one thing to take away, I guess if there's two things to take away. The first thing is, do not pretend to be handicapped if you aren't. Second, don't try to kiss someone while they're on the job with their employers and the people they care for right fucking there. Don't do it. Now, Lynn is all shaken up, people. The next day we see her, she is, taking herself out of the equation. She quits her job. Jeffy. Damn it, Steve. Whatever. No time, people. Let's get into this final goddamn race. It comes down to Jimmy and Jeffy. Keep in mind, people, if Jimmy wins this, he's going to have 7 straight back-to-back championships each year. That is fucking ridiculous. Michael Jordan only has 6 rings, okay? So keep that in mind. But during the race, his ass gets a cramp and then he just, falls down like a sack of potatoes. Jeffy is gonna fucking win. Holy shit. Why am I praising this? Instead of crossing that finish line, people, and guaranteeing Stavi's fingers, instead of getting that money, instead of doing that, he goes back to pick Jimmy up and help him finish the race. And then get this, people. Instead of those two winning, Glenn comes in at the last fucking second, takes home the gold. Man, see, that's how the fuck you do it, man. God damn. Did he pretend? No. His ass comes in first place and he don't even know it. I'm sorry for laughing at that, but it's true. It turns out though, Steve did not have to win the race, okay? Jimmy just had to lose. So guess what, people? We're back in fucking business here. Stavi, remember that? He will not be remembered like this. Oh no, people, he's gonna be riding high once he gets his fingers back. You just wait. During the ceremony where they hand off the medals, Steve comes clean in front of everyone. And, you know, since he was in third place at the time, with him being disqualified, Thomas moved up to third place. Oh shit. With Steve now disqualified, Thomas moves up to third place. God damn it. Yes, my boy. Yes, okay, yeah. Fat guys can do it too, man. Yeah. You know what, folks? The people are pissed. Everyone, especially Lynn. She walks up to Steve, slaps his ass, and then he gets to walk away. Not in handcuffs, by the way. So, you know what, Steve? You're kind of getting off lucky here. I will say, he really did give a heartfelt apology. Is it enough? Hell no, not at all. You know, you're going to need to keep doing that for the rest of your life, probably. And I don't even think that's going to be enough. But all is well in the world because, hey, Steve still has his freedom. Stavi gets his fingers back. Yep. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Not only does Stavi have his fingers back, the entire gang, you know, the friends that Steve met along the way, they're all reunited and they're doing a Shakespeare play. Okay. Not where I thought we were going, but all right, I'm with it. Glenn ends up bringing Lynn to the fucking rehearsal, if you will. That's where her and Steve have a little bit of a moment to make amends. Apparently, Stavi told her the situation, so, you know, all's forgiven. The two kiss, and they live happily ever after. How the fuck did we get here? After all this shit? What? Who cares? It's over. Let's get into the goddamn ratings here. Whew. Alright, people. For this series, The Shit Show, we have 2 ratings that we can give. Specifically, if it's a good movie, we're gonna go with a high-brow fuckery rating. This is a bad movie, so we're gonna end up with the rating of lowbrow fuckery. Yes, that's right. This one fucking sucks. On my normal rating scale, which essentially comes down to 1 of 5 choices, I'm gonna go with my second choice, essentially giving this a 2 out of 5. The rating is waste of damn time. Yes, no. I think this is yes, no. Yes, people, after all this shit, I really thought I was going to go with the lowest rating possible. But if there weren't a few solid laughs and a few other like heartfelt moments, you know, there's a few things in there that actually have a little bit of meaning to it.
Go ahead. Ask me any movie.
Jaws.
That's a great movie.
If it weren't for that, this movie would have got the lowest rating possible. But it did it. Please put away the pitchforks. This is just a movie review. It's not that serious. I think that's it, people. It's time to let my blood pressure recover a little bit after this long night of recording. So with that being said, folks, it's time for me to get the fuck out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. This is my goddamn dream, honestly, just talking about movies on the internet. I don't have huge aspirations. I'm aware. However, we can do better movies than the goddamn Ringer. So, you know, thank you so much once again. My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94. And I'm signing out, y'all. Deuces. Hey, it's me again, the guy from the thing you just watched. Feel free to check out one of the 2 videos on your stream, currently speaking. You can't go wrong with either or. Thank you so much. This time, it's for real. Deuces.